In this video I'm going to demonstrate a new feature that I've added to Media Center Master. It allows you to create your own set of rules, very similar to how XBMC does smart playlists. Basically it's just an XML file that lists several rules on how you want media to either be displayed or manipulated. So right now there really isn't a whole lot of use for the rules as they're implemented. You can't use them for your download parser yet, or use them to determine what movies you want to download. Those features are coming, but I did want to show you something that I let into the wild a few releases ago. So I'm going to start up Media Center Master, and I'm actually going to show you how filters can be created using these rules. And to do that I need to really look at a rather large library in order to filter against. So we're going to use my personal library here. This is just a couple of the folders, and it may take it a little bit to start up. Okay, so we're up and running, and we have the view and filtering button here, and you'll notice that it has all the default options. If there were any filters that had been identified, you'll have a new menu at the bottom of this that says more. But there isn't any right now. We haven't created any, so I'm going to show you how to do that. I didn't mean to click that. There we go. Okay, so I'm going to minimize that. I've got this folder open here. This is just where all the log files go and all the app data goes. You can get there quickly by using Control L, open logs folder. Okay, I've actually already created some rules. I'm going to grab one of those as an example, just to speed things up here. I'm going to grab this rule. This is a rule chain that I created that let me filter out all the stand-up comedy, and it's very simple. Looks just like this. Here's an XML file. It's got all of these rules here. There's only one of them. It's making sure that the path of the actual video doesn't contain stand-up comedy, and this is not case sensitive. I could have used lowercase or all capital case if I wanted to. It has to match all the rules, but there's only one, so that doesn't really matter. This is important right here where it says type filter. If it's not type filter, it won't show up. And then this is the name that it'll appear as a filter option in Media Center Master. So I'm going to close that, and it does have the file extension of .rules. The name of the file really isn't important. For best practices, I would probably keep it the same as the name of the filter that you're giving it. And that goes in this folder here called rules. You'll need to create that folder. It won't be there by default. So you can either restart Media Center Master and it'll pick up changes to the rules folder, or you can go into here and clear all the internal caches. That'll do about the same thing. Maybe I lied to you. Maybe it won't do the same thing. You know it will, but we have to refresh the cache after we do that. I'm just waiting on it right now. There we go. And if it does pick up rules, you'll notice it starts updating the library, and you'll get a message down here talking about updating the library and testing against rules. And it's just not picking that up, so we'll close out, relaunch Media Center Master. All right. You know, I'm noticing right now that the build number is not right here. This is an older build number. And I'm wondering, yep, my test directory doesn't actually have the latest version of Media Center Master. So, that's right, boys and girls. Developers make mistakes too. So we're going to close that, and I'll just launch it from over here. There we go. There we go, that's a more recent build. Now you notice that it's testing against all of our filters. We only have one filter in here, but it'll go through all these, and once it's done, we'll be able to use those filters. You'll notice that the filter does appear in the list already as more, no stand-up. And I was doing some testing that turned it on earlier, so I turned it off just now. And I'll make that file available upon request somewhere at the forums. But it's very, very basic. Just for the purpose of testing. Okay, so it's pre-tested every single title in my library right here, just the HD movies that I've got listed. And now I can use that. No stand-up comedy. It'll filter them out. And that would be a little more impressive if you knew where my stand-up comedy was. So let's go to path. Am I not showing path? Nope, it wasn't. Okay, so got David Cross, Dave Chappelle doing their stand-up things right here, and there they are. So if I turn that filter on, they should disappear along with Lewis Black down here. No stand-up, gone. So there you go. That's a very quick and easy way to create your own rules, your own filters for those rules. This one just filters out, stand-up comedy. You could do something else too. You could say, well, how about anything that is, I think it's in here. Yeah, I've got this named funny. Sci-fi and action and adventure. Something with some action in it. So this says that if it's any one of these three filters, if it's genre containing sci-fi, however it's spelled, if it has a hyphen, if it doesn't have a hyphen, if it's spelled out, if it's abbreviated to sci-fi, if it's a genre that contains fantasy or adventure, let's add action in there. Any one of these genres, then the filter will succeed. It'll allow that movie title or TV title through, and that's all we'll see. So I'm going to save that one. And it doesn't show up right away. We have to either restart Media Center Master or just clear out all the internal caches, and it'll start retesting all the filters. At some point I may add a mechanism that monitors for changes to rules and automatically reloads and retests things for you, but for now we're just going to keep it this way. It does take a while to do all the testing in advance. If you don't do that, then the list gets real slow. I did have it in there for a while where it didn't pre-test everything. It just tried to test them on demand, and it just made the program really, really slow, and nobody wants that. So okay, so now we have more filters. I'm going to take off the one for no stand-up, and I'm going to put the one on that only allows sci-fi, fantasy, adventure, and action. And there you go. Only those genres were allowed through. Comedy fantasy was allowed through because we said it can contain fantasy. And I think we've got another filter down here. And in case you're wondering, yes, you can do more than one. You can have as many filters on or off as you want. So there you go. That's how to do it. If you have any questions, please contact me at the forums. I'm sure someone's going to ask, what can we filter against besides the genre and the path. There's a folder. You can go just against the folder or the file instead of the entire path. You can go against the genre as we've seen here, the content rating, and the content rating will actually support greater than or less than type of comparison. So you can say, is it greater than PG, and it'll know that PG-13 and R are both worse than G or PG. But it's not an alphabetic comparison. It'll actually take the value, the age rating value for that content rating. So it supports the UK ratings and PEGI, which I think is mostly for video games, but that's supported too, and so forth when comparing content rating. You can search the title, you can search the year, you can search the video width, the video height. If you wanted to just filter out just HD or not HD, you could do it very quickly that way. A lot of the fields can be done that way. So, all right, well that's it. If you have any questions, go ahead and reach me at the forums.